Humble my hay. We have no idea what we're. This is going to be an interesting one. Killer Bean Eggs, kind of a special thing going on today. Um, we're going to be tasting a no bee honey. No bee
Beeless.
honey. In fact,
Beeless honey.
beeless honey.
Yeah.
Being the tasters, but also we're doing a Zoom class for a third good buddy, Barry Levinson, who
On TikTok.
oh
Sorry
yeah,
about that.
sorry about that, guys. Okay, trying to get it figured out. Do we even need sound on either of them?
Maybe not.
Yeah. Oh well. Well, let us know if everything looks all right, because this is we got a little bit of talking to do, a little bit of experimenting to do, because this is from a company. This is a
Melly Bio.
Melly Bio.
Well, they're the research. The
Thanks,
art-
guys.
Yeah, that's I'm confused too. We're gonna taste it, and we're gonna be talking with while about 15 or 20 minutes, and I'm basically teaching up in Middleton, Wisconsin. Now, the World Mustard Museum, of course, there's a World Mustard Museum, and of course, it's in Wisconsin. Well, haven't, why not? Anyway, we make, they have the plain honeys, the honey butters, and the mustards. So I've been entering the World Mustard Competition rounds. So I'm totally gloating, but does the truth gloat, or is it just the truth?
It glows.
The glow does. Okay, anyway. So he puts together this World Mustard Competition every year, but he's also a law professor, a professor of food law. Awesome shit, huh? So, if you guys got comments and questions, Westford is on. Say hi, Westford. Say hi to everyone.
Hi.
Yay, there's
Hi.
Westford. Okay, so we're all here. It's not some mystery. And so, if you have any questions for us, one in here. And so, the old, oh, you're awesome and you're handsome and all that shit. Well, thank you. We got to let it slide this time. But while we're teaching the class, while we're talking to this class, and
On the
You
Wi-Fi
too.
on there?
1 second, Becky.
we
Make
could,
sure
we
we're
shouldn't
off
be
the
on
Wi-Fi.
Wi-Fi. We should get off the. We're trying to get this all fine-tuned so that we're not pixelated.
Let's try that again, Becky. Let us know. It was on Wi-Fi.
Oh, good.
And the Wi-Fi sucks here, so hopefully, is it on Wi-Fi and the other one on the TikTok also? Anyway, thank you
No,
very
it's
much,
all set.
Becky. And again, for all of you joining us, and I will be saying this a bunch of times throughout our little intro here, we are trying today honey. Well, is it honey? That's the question. This is not made by bees. So we're confused as everyone else. We're going to do a taste testing. Okay, the three of us here. Now, the class that we're going to be teaching, third year law students at the University of Wisconsin-Madison. All right, and like I was saying, my buddy Barry Levinson is the professor, and he's invited me and to us and to be involved with this class. I've taught a couple of classes with him before on food law regarding honey and whatnot. And we're going to be doing a tasting, and we're going to be talking with the class about this, about what are the legal ramifications of no bee honey. No bee honey. No bees. No bees made this. Now, I do know that there is a group in, I believe, Haifa, Israel, that is making honey without bees. And they're actually isolating the proteins in the stomachs, the honey stomachs of the bees that make the nectar into honey. Interesting stuff going on. And of course, the big question is why? Right?
Exactly.
Why would anybody do that? Why would anybody want to make honey that's not honey? Is it like the meatless craze?
Well, I think that was part of it. Another thing, though, too, is on Melly Bio's website, there's a 38-page report that they publish called The State of the Bee.
Yep.
If you go to mellybio.com, you can read that report. It's really well done because they're saying that their motivation behind creating this beeless honey is actually to save native pollinators. So they get it.
Yeah.
They're doing it for the right reasons in a way.
Well, in this hemisphere,
Right.
in Israel, honeybees are native.
Well, that's a vegan trip over there.
That's a vegan trip.
Yeah, Israel
Is it
has
kosher? No.
Israel has more vegans per capita than anywhere else in the world. Mm-hmm.
I did not know that.
Yeah. So
I'll be
there's going to
damned.
be that bit of a focus.
Okay, vegan. Wait a minute. Vegan honey. See, all right. this has always confused the living hell out of me. And I call it, I may have to blow my nose. I think there's pollen in the air. Spring is sprung, so forgive me if I'm going to be honking on a little bit here. Vegan honey. Okay, with beekeepers, we normally, before Africanization anyway, the last thing we wanted to do was hurt our bees. That was the last thing we wanted to do. We wanted to get the excess honey that they made. We weren't stealing anything from them. We were taking the excess they made. And so I always called, vegan honey was for militants.
Oh yeah.
Militant vegans.
Yeah.
Which, of course, that's almost the definition now. So it's interesting to say the least. So militant vegans making okay, we're going to be delving into why would you make honey that was not made from bees? Was it made in a laboratory? Was it made?
This one was, right?
It was made in a laboratory, actually, because this is a prototype. Okay, this is not on the shelves. This is super expensive. This is like sent to us as a sample to test because we're professionals, and I've been doing it for 30 years. And so they actually want our opinion on this. And I'm going to be looking at my screen on the laptop because we're waiting for the host to start our Zoom meeting. For those of you just joining us, I'm Reed Booth, of course, Killer Bee Guy. We got host here doing a bee removal with us. We've got the whole team here. Westward is on the camera. And going to be tasting the no honey, the no bee honey also. And we're doing a live Zoom class with third-year law students, food law students in Madison, Wisconsin at the UW there. And so we're going to be kind of teaching this class for, we don't even know how long, half an hour, whatever it takes. We have kind of run of the college, and so we're just going to have some fun.
Yeah.
But we're going to be tasting this, and along with talking about, we're going to do Q&A with you guys out there in TikTok and YouTube land, the Killer Bee Nation, and also with the students in the class, this third-year food law class at the University of Wisconsin-Madison. All right, and like I was saying before, the professor there is my buddy Barry Levinson. Absolutely love this guy, and so he's invited us to come along and talk about honey made without bees.
Right.
What the hell?
Can you clarify for our viewers again where that came from?
Okay, this is from a company. They call it No Bee Honey, and the name of the company?
Meli Bio.
Nelly Bio.
Meli.
M-E-L-I, like mellifera, because Apis mellifera is the Latin name for honeybee, for European honeybees. So Meli Bio. Meli Bio, if you want to look it up. Very interesting stuff what they're doing. And after perusing their website and looking at what they're doing, I have a couple of questions. Okay, a couple more than that, actually. I get the why they're doing it. And I'm not going to spill any beans yet. We're going to wait for this class to come on. I want you guys to join. Something different we're doing here. We're not chasing bees. This is something completely different. Very, very cool. You don't see me teach a lot of classes unless they're search and rescue, fire, etc. like this. So this is a kind of I've done it before, but it's more of a rare thing. Yeah. And to teach a third-year law class, food law class, is kind of cool.
We don't know how it's made yet. We're going to find out hopefully today, guys.
Yeah, we don't, right.
We have no idea what's in it at all.
No bee, though.
Yeah.
No bees.
How can they call it honey if it's not bee honey, someone's asking?
Yeah, that is
question.
a really good, and we're going to actually delve into that. What are the legalities of this?
Right.
What does this mean? Can they call it honey if it's not made by bees? Is that a federal issue? Is that a state-by-state issue? What is it here?
It's like an imitation product, or what do you call that? Artificial?
Syrup.
Or who knows?
Syrup.
Yeah.
Okay, right? That's what Hosh said. He was like, well, really, honey-flavored stuff that isn't made by bees. They call it syrup. I do not know. Join with computer audio. Okay, we're being invited to join our Zoom class here. And so,
yes.
Hello.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you see me?
I can't see you yet. That's okay for the moment. We still have students filing in, so
Okay.
I think we'll sit tight for a hot sec. Thanks so much for me.
Yeah, is this Barry? Okay. Well, anyway, everybody.
No, this is actually true. Just Just a student. We're gonna either hook my laptop up to the projector, or Barry will join the room.
Okay, all right, and I want to let you know we are live streaming this live on TikTok and YouTube.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Can I actually film the computer screen?
All right.
Yeah, you can come around film the computer screen. There's no one on right now. It's just so we're going to be live streaming. We'll have tens of thousands of people with us because this is a very interesting subject that we're broaching today. So anyway, we can't see each other and whatnot. But you're talking to Reed Booth. I'm the Killer Bee guy, Barry's friend that he's invited to do this, and so I'm assuming we'll see you in a little bit.
Absolutely, yeah. So let's do that. Thanks so much for letting me know that. That's great. What we'll do is we're going to sit tight for like 5 minutes, and then I'll drop in the chat or hop on the audio to let you know that we're ready to check in with you. All right, Andy?
Awesome. We're here, and again, I'm Reed Booth, and we also have Hosh and Westward with us. So anyway, just hop on when you want. We're going to be talking live stream YouTube and TikTok. We're already on with that, and we're going to be sharing with our people out there about what the hell we're doing.
Perfect. Party on. Thanks so much.
All right, later. Talk to you in a sec. All right, everybody out there. So we're getting set up with our Zoom meeting, obviously. You can come around. If you want to come around, you can show people what we're doing. Everybody can see me, of course. This is how the Zoom meeting works. You know, you got me up here in the camera and Hosh and whatnot. And so we'll have the picture here. We're going to be going back and forth with it. And we're going to be talking today with this third year law class in Madison, Wisconsin, the University of Wisconsin, Madison. Let me put that right. We're going to be talking about honey not made by bees. What the hell? We all have as many questions as anyone else does.
Totally.
Yeah, totally. So just stick with us, you guys. It's going to be one of the more interesting TikToks and YouTube live streams that you've ever seen, actually, with no bees for sure. Of course, everything we do is interesting as hell, but this is going to be odd. We're going to taste this, and we'll do the smell-o-vision for you guys, so you clean your smell receptors off.
Download the app.
The smell-o-vision. Scratch and sniff. No, that was the old days. That was the old app.
I like the scratch and sniff app. That's pretty
All right,
good.
that was a TMI there, Westford. That was a TMI. Who doesn't, I should have said.
Oh, I love this comment. Loving Gravity says they'd rather have spider webs not made from spiders.
Oh, that is awesome. Halloween, right around the corner.
Or like those cheese singles. They're not real cheese. They're called a cheese product.
Cheese singles.
Or cheese food.
Instead of cheese couples.
It's not cheese.
Yeah, it's not cheese. Well, yeah.
It's kind of
Can they call it honey? Anybody got any ideas on this? Now, we have looked into the legality of this, of course, and all that. State to state varies widely. Of course, you'd expect. What are the federal laws on that? So we're going to be talking with all this with you guys with this class, this third year law class at the University of Wisconsin-Madison, that my buddy Barry Levinson is a professor of food law. Is that just the coolest thing or what? I think the last class that I taught with him was, oh goodness, it was about labeling. It was about labeling and food law and adulteration. Well, I don't know. Is it adulterated if there's no honey?
Yeah,
we
don't know why either. That's what we're going to find out, guys.
Yeah.
Hopefully
I mean,
today.
we know the whys. We know why they're doing it, which is actually really noble and a really cool thing, at least in this hemisphere.
Yeah. I mean, honeybees are exploited and overused, and they're actually clogging up the environment. Too many honeybees.
Right.
Whether they're Africanized or whether they're European bees, doesn't matter what kind. There are too many honeybees. They're the wrong bees.
Yeah.
When we say saving the bees, we want to save our native pollinators because all honeybees are invasive to the Western Hemisphere. And so Melibio, with the best intentions, wants to create a honey that isn't created by honeybees.
Is not created by honey. So we're not reliant on honeybees
For honey.
for honey. Okay, well, I have to ask then, how well did that work out for the dairy industry?
Right.
Right? I mean, you know, you can buy oat milk, soy milk, all that, whatever, almond milk, whatever the hell you want, endlessly. But, oh, here we go. We're getting on live here.
But it definitely
Hey, what's up?
doesn't have the the benefits.
Right,
that
and
milk
it
has.
didn't even touch the. Oh, there's my buddy. There's Barry. So it did not touch the dairy industry. You can buy as much milk as you want.
Right.
So there's a lot of things we're going to be talking about and going into with this class regarding beeless honey. I mean, what the hell? Hey, Barry. We're getting some volume going here, maybe.
Yeah. Well, I guess I missed the why, but I have strong opinions about it. I just don't think it's necessary, to be honest.
What happened?
I was just talking to their viewers while you're doing
Oh
that.
yeah. Hey guys, be patient with us. We're getting on live right now with this class. We got a few minutes left before the class actually starts. You want to check our volume down here, or maybe our mute? No, our mute is not on over here, is it?
Once Reed's on the stream
So
with
he's
the
gonna connect.
college, we're not going to be answering questions as much unless there's a break in that, just so you guys know, okay? So I'd ask your questions now.
Yeah, ask some questions now and share with whoever you want to join this because they're setting up the Zoom right now, the live stream, and so have we got volume? Yeah. Okay.
Well, Becky, we don't know what it's made out of yet, so we're going to find out.
Yeah.
Someone's saying it's made of cane sugar and lemon juice and apples, but it's like we don't know the ingredients.
I have seen that online. That is a. Is that honey?
That's an imitation product. This is actually, they created it using similar enzymes.
Right.
So they're actually going in a laboratory setting and trying to, figure out, how do the bees do it, taking enzymes, replicating the enzymes that the bees have in their stomachs, all of this kind of stuff. But there's a lot of questions, like, for example, honey can be used on wounds. It can be used as a medicinal food, right?
Is it antibacterial?
Is this antibacterial?
What the hell is it actually?
Right.
Okay, Reed,
And is it
can you
nutritious?
hear me all right?
Yes, Barry, I can hear you. How are you doing? Can you hear me?
Okay, I'm gonna, if you could just mute yourself for a bit, because we got a few things to take care of for about 15, 20 minutes, and then you're on. Okay?
I should be muted now.
You did.
Good.
Okay, easy peasy today, right? Let's see.
Okay, can everyone out there in Killer Bee Nation land
Just
hear?
like you usually.
Yeah, can they hear
No
Barry?
stress. This is
Can you
no
guys hear
stress
Barry?
class.
This is the professor talking.
But I do have to take attendance.
Okay, we'll let him go through his classwork. They can't hear me right now.
Like all of you.
They can
Yeah.
hear the computer. Thank you, Backdraft,
when
for
you
your
chime
feedback.
in, to tell us
Thank you,
about the
Simon.
chapter you're working on and what issues you see
Thanks, Johnny.
and what
Turn
you've
this down.
done so far. And
Okay,
help for you.
we turned the volume down on him getting his class in line and in order. We'll have to keep an eye out for when we're invited on to join this Zoom presentation for this third year food law class at the University of Wisconsin-Madison. Kind of an exciting thing that we're doing here. And so ask questions now if you would, because he's getting things together. It's going to take a few minutes so he can do his prelim whatnot on the class.
We have some viewers from Wisconsin here today.
Oh, awesome! Holy cows, the weather up there, guys. It finally got nice here. Okay, you're gonna hate me. It's 70. Never mind. You're gonna hate me. I grew up there, so I know all about it. So anyway, so Barry's just waiting for everyone to get on. Also with this class, I'm Reed Booth. I'm Killer Bee Guy. We got Hosh here. We got Westford on the camera. We're teaching a third year food law class out of the University of Wisconsin-Madison. My good buddy is a professor there, Barry Levinson. He is going to be orchestrating this whole thing. And we're going to be talking about honey not made from bees. What the hell? And so we all have a lot of questions and not many answers about this at this point in time. But we're going to be delving into it more. He knows more about it than anyone. They sent this to him from Melly Bio, and which is the company that is making this beeless honey. Now, of course, I would have gone with free bee, maybe.
Free bee?
Yeah,
Bee
free bee honey or bee free
Bee-free?
or bee free honey or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
Just the way my brain goes,
I
you know.
like bee free honey.
Yeah, right. Anyway, but they went with no bee.
Yeah, or beeless.
Beeless.
Yeah.
Beeless.
Yeah, beeless. Yeah, you know, I don't know. Painless.
I'll tell
Painless,
you,
that's for sure.
it's definitely not as fun to harvest.
Oh no! Well, you guys know us and when we're on videos and we're getting honey from The killer beehives.
So an hour away from Madison, they're going to get 5 to 8 inches of snow tomorrow. And
Oh, good God.
buckwheat from Queen Creek says hi, Reed.
Oh, hey, all right, right on. Okay, and I'm doing double duty here. I'm watching for when he wants us to join the class, the Zoom class. Wester will be coming around and showing everyone the class and what we're doing, talking to people, and we're just going to be delving into this interesting subject here.
Johnny says it's called bullshit honey.
BS. BS, honey. Oh, I like that. I like that.
You know, it's interesting. That was my initial response too. But when I started reading about, the work that they've done with the enzymatic process and all of that, at least attempting to replicate it. But
Yeah.
here's where I jam up on that. They think they know how honeybees make honey.
Right.
Like you know this much about this,
Yeah.
and you think you got it down. You're gonna miss something. They always miss something. That's
Yeah.
how these damn bees got created to begin with.
The
Africanized
Africanized,
honeybees. Everybody
Right.
always misses something. You don't fuck with nature.
Yeah.
Leave it
Exactly.
alone. It never works out.
And my biggest concern, and these are questions from viewers as well, again, nutritional content. What's in this? Like
Having
in
the
honey,
right. Is it? Yeah, I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't know what is it. They're trying to duplicate with all the vitamins and minerals and amino acids and all that.
Right.
right?
I don't know if they have. I
And
don't
we
know.
we don't even know what's in real
No.
honey. We don't have the full
No, not
picture.
the full spectrum.
We
No,
don't have
we,
the
we have a
full
much better
picture.
than one than we did 5 years ago, or 10,
Yeah.
than 10 years
Well-
ago, and et cetera. Of course.
We're still learning about what real honey is, much less.
Can you hear anything that's going on here?
Yeah.
Okay, so you can tell when he comes on. I can't hear for shit. I grew up in northern Wisconsin shooting a gun. So from about the age of 9 years old, I can't hear. I got about 50 here and 60 here, and that's from shooting without ear protection. And so I'm like, huh? What the fuck? And so anyway.
Well, these are questions we're going to ask, guys. Is there pollen in it or anything like that? We're going
Right.
to hopefully find out
Yeah.
all this information
We-
soon.
It's a new cutting. This is totally cutting edge shit right here.
Pretty sure from what they said on the website, as we kind of researched up for this, is that they are using nectar
Okay.
and then
Yeah.
treating nectar, taking nectar from flowers or whatever, and then removing the honeybee from the equation and doing the honey making process themselves.
Are they taking it through the enzymatic process? I do not know.
Well, that's what they said they did.
Yeah.
That's what they again.
With a claim there.
What they know of the enzymatic process.
Right, of course. And we're going to know more now. Barry is a professor of food law in Madison, in Wisconsin. And this class, they're third-year law students, so there are no dummies about this, or about a lot of stuff, of course. But we're going to be delving into some subjects that I don't know if anybody knows the answer. We know why. We don't know how yet.
No.
We really don't know how. How are they making it? We know why, and I have some questions about that myself. So it's a very noble thing, by the way, for all you guys out there.
Yeah.
That didn't, highway to hell is paved with noble intentions. So
Definitely, their report though is really something. They've got a report
It's
called
really
"The
good.
State
It's
of the
really good.
Bee"
Yeah.
on their website, the Melly Bio website. It's a really nice website. They're definitely clearly looking for funding and donors and whatnot.
yeah,
It's a
not for much.
great website, but that report, The State of the Bee, really outlines everything we've been talking about all along and why we do what we do in exterminating Africanized honeybees. So it's worth a read if you want to go over there and look at that.
Yeah. Melly Bio is the website. So we're waiting now. Is he looking at us? No, not yet. Okay. Anyway, we're going on live on our Zoom class with the University of Wisconsin-Madison, a food law class regarding a few different things we're going to talk about, but primarily honey. I can't. You know what? I can't believe it's not honey.
Yeah.
Or are we going to say that? We're going to taste it. We're going to taste it. We don't know what the hell we're getting into here. It looks like honey. It looks kind of like mesquite honey a little bit, looks like it has the texture, but we don't know. We don't know about flavor, mouthfeel, none of that. You're going to watch us taste it here and discuss with the class, because they have already tasted it. All right. This company sent Barry, who is, again, a professor of food law at the University of Wisconsin-Madison, sent his class a taster just like this, and everybody tasted it, and they gave their opinions on it. Okay, awesome, right? Well, Barry's trying to bring in more people like us in the industry, and I've been in the gourmet food industry for 30 years, and so Barry and I have a lot in common with that. But he is, besides running the World Mustard Museum out in Middleton, Wisconsin, you can look it up. It's really interesting. He's so damn funny. You can buy a diploma from this mustard museum, and you can get an actual diploma from Poop on You. Get it? Poop on mustard, poop on university. Yeah. Okay, anyway, you actually can. He's funnier than hell. He's a good buddy of mine. Great sense of humor, and a professor of food law at the University of Wisconsin. So I guess you have to have a sense of humor to be a professor in Wisconsin. Anyway, I grew up there. I can say shit. I can say whatever I want. So
Hi, Mark in the UK. How are you?
up in the UK, awesome, right on. Yeah, and of course, honeybees are they belong in the UK. They belong in the eastern. They belong in Europe and northern and Africa and Asia. They don't belong here in the Western Hemisphere. They simply don't belong here. So ask if you guys got questions. We don't know what we're getting into. We know we have the idea of what we're talking about. As soon as Barry gives us, as soon as Professor Levinson gives us the go ahead to join the Zoom class, then we will, and then we'll be on. And so we will still answer questions from you guys, pertinent ones, okay?
Yeah.
And all that good stuff. So stay involved with it. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. And like I said, we're going to be talking about legalities, about potentialities, and what is labeling involved with this? Does it have to say imitation? Does that say artificial?
Yeah.
Oh, hi, Tornado Girl. How are you? Pat on YouTube copied and pasted this. She looked it up.
All right. What do we
Let's
got?
see. In the U.S., the Food and Drug Administration says any product that has been ultra filtered and no longer contains pollen isn't honey. But that was in 2011.
Okay.
So I don't know. That's
They did redefine some things in about 2018.
Yeah, they did redefine some things about 2018. And there was another thing that the FDA did say, and we're going to be relying more on the FDA than the state's opinions on this, the state laws, because
But thanks, Pat, for
there's
that.
too many state laws on. Every state is different. So that's why we have the feds, the FDA specifically, to kind of set the parameters. Now, of course, as everyone knows, every state has to stay at least the bare minimum is the rules and laws that the FDA puts out, or any federal agency actually. They can make stricter ones, but you have to stay, that's a bare minimum. So, of course, some states like California, etc., do make stricter ones. Then you get down to county level and city level. Each level as you go down can make stricter laws than the one above if they so choose. Most of the time, they don't. It's a moot subject. It's like, well, that's enough. That's enough regulation of bullshit, and we can't even monitor that. We can't enforce anything anyway. So some states have made it more restrictive, and as far as labeling and what's required to be called honey, we're going to be talking about that. Whereas the FDA has a basic, outline of what it can be called honey.
Yeah.
So now, every industry that's doing this, the milk industry, the meat industry, okay, meatless meat, every industry is going through these growing pains of, what do we call it?
Growing pains.
Growing pains. Yes, if you lift something too heavy, you get growing pains. That's what I've been told. Anyway, it's still us here. So, like what the laws change as the perceptions change, as can meatless meat be called meat?
Right.
Stuff like that, right? Can oat milk be called milk, etc. And so we're going to be talking about all this and what the implications are for the honey industry and all that. It's going to be interesting as hell. We're getting ready to go on with Barry now. For those of you just joining us, before we get started here with the Zoom class, I'm Reed Booth. I'm the Killer Bee Guy. We have Hosh here, and we have Westward on the camera action, and professional taster also, and an opinion maker.
Yes.
And we're teaching a live law class, third-year law students, food law at the University of Wisconsin, Madison, via a Zoom with my good buddy Barry Levinson, who is a professor of food law at the University of Wisconsin.
Thanks for asking on TikTok. We are recording this and it can go up on YouTube later on. You won't be able to see it on TikTok after this, but if you want to see it later, go to YouTube. It will save there.
Right.
All of our live streams save on YouTube.
Yeah, and it'll take a couple hours, especially for something this long, to be processed and uploaded on YouTube. But all of our live streams are available on YouTube,
Yes.
either later that day or the next day, and they just live there perpetually. The TikTok, we usually cut them up into shorts. Hosh cuts them up into shorts, and so they'll be available also on TikTok, but not in its
Yes.
entirety. It'll be just the interesting shit, which is all of it.
If you have time to answer this, a really great question as
Yes.
well. Why don't you like using pesticides and poisons?
Oh, well, obvious reasons. I mean,
I like this question.
no, it's a really good question because they work, so why wouldn't I want to use more of them? Wouldn't that be a kind of a logical thing? No, because too much is too much. Okay, if you're out and you've been working all day and you want to drink some water, are we on?
Let's see.
You drink too much water, you can't drink anymore. It's not good. So, hold on. Barry, you looking for us?
Yeah, we'll get to you in about a minute.
Okay. You want us to mute it again?
Maybe I'm off. Hold on. Where am I?
Stay with us, everybody out there on YouTube and TikTok. We're live streaming. We're waiting for the Zoom connection to be made and to get the go ahead.
Yeah, we're gonna get you right away because we'll then pick this stuff up in just a minute. So can you hear me all right?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me, Barry?
We'll try to get to your question later. Thank you.
Yes, I can, and we are just going to. I'm first going to. Yes, we are going. Attack of the killer bees, right? And this is Reed here. You can see him, and this is Reed. It really is with honeycombs. It is you, right?
I can't see what you're looking at. I can see you, and I can see the screen off to your
Yeah.
left. So I'm going to say.
And also, there's a picture of killer bee honey, which I was going to give to everybody, a little jar.
But someone's
It's on the way, right?
You're breaking up. You're breaking up. No, you're not.
Okay.
Now we're going to send it to him. He's going to be getting the honey. You guys are going to get the honey.
On the way.
Yes, everyone is going to get a little jar of killer bee honey. So, what I did send was a little jar of honey without bees made by Melly Bio. We've all tasted it. What did you think of it?
Well, we're going to taste it right now. All right?
Okay.
We're gonna do the taste right now, and so we have myself here and Hosh. Hosh, you want to grab a spoon? Hosh is here also. All right. So we got myself and Hosh, and Westward is here on camera. We're live streaming this on YouTube and TikTok. So we're gonna see what this is now. Okay. Now this is from Melly Bio, no bee honey. All right, so Host just took a taste of it, and there's no grimacing. That's good. All right, I'm going to take a taste of it and see what happens. My personal opinion, it tastes about 80% like honey. It is very floral. All right, it doesn't taste like any honey I've had. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
I've had honey from all over the world, halfway up the Amazon, et cetera, et cetera. It's very floral. To myself personally, it does not have the mouth feel of honey. Does not have the coating effect. What do you think, Hosh?
It tastes like pasteurized, low quality honey.
Oh, interesting.
So
Like more like it's been homogenized or something? Because
Yeah.
pasteurized is overheated.
It tastes pasteurized and it tastes like low quality, like maybe it's cut with something else, like honey cut with something
Interesting.
else.
Interesting.
And it's scratching the back of my throat a little bit.
Well,
Yeah.
that's not usually good. Well, yeah, that's
I'd say,
interesting.
yeah.
What, Barry? I
wouldn't want any more.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Interesting.
it's
Well, that's okay. No, that's the point of it. Now, of course, Hosh works with me doing for over a year now, doing the killer bee removal and all aspects of the business and everything. So, Barry, I'm curious, what were your opinion? What is your thought on this as far as flavor and tasting goes, Barry?
Well, I agree that the mouthfeel was definitely off. It didn't have that mouthfeel. I thought the taste was okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it could be used. In fact, I had someone who was a real honey a big honey consumer, taste it, and he said, "I would probably use it, I guess." And I couldn't really tell a big difference. But then again, he goes through like a quart every month.
Yeah.
Or more.
Yeah.
So, but he thinks it's. He is concerned about environmental effects, and
That is a question.
Tell us about vegan and the fact that vegans generally, and I think you had a word for it,
Militant.
a particular kind of vegan.
Yeah.
Not what is that?
Militant.
Ethical.
Yeah, militant vegan. I mean, okay, first of all, as beekeepers, we do not, and can you hear me okay, Barry? Everybody can hear me out there?
Yes, we can. Can you? Yeah.
All right, very good. And everybody can hear me out on YouTube and TikTok land? Okay, great. Okay, because we're live on YouTube and TikTok now and probably have tens of thousands of people with us. So, okay, veganism. As beekeepers, regarding honey and vegans, I've never understood it at all. Because as beekeepers, when I was a beekeeper before Africanization of the honeybee, the last thing that we wanted to do was hurt our honeybees. We did not want to hurt our honeybees at all, and we would not take excess from them. Honeybees, whether they're European or Africanized, make excess. They make more than they need. They're the ultimate survivalists. And so we, as beekeepers, would take only the excess. We don't want to starve our little honeybees. The last thing we wanted to do was hurt our honeybees. We don't have stanchions and are milking the honeybees. That's not what's happening here. We're not cutting off a part of the honeybee to get the honey. We're not hurting the honeybees at all. So I've never in my life understood militant veganism as far as honey goes. It makes zero sense. Then again, of course, a lot of things about veganism don't make sense to me when you look at it from a scientific and logical point of view, especially this. So then we come into various questions about, we know why they're doing this. We know why they're making it because we've read their bios and all that good stuff. Their reasons are very noble. Honeybees are invasive to the Western Hemisphere. They don't belong here. They're absolutely detrimental to our native bee populations, not honeybee, bee populations, our native pollinators, and also detrimental to the environment, actually. So part of their reasoning for making this without bees, and I have a lot of questions and a lot of thoughts on this going forward, but one of them is the whys, and that's what we're talking about right now. So I believe it's Haifa, Israel. Do you know anything about this, Barry? They're making.
No.
Okay, they're actually making beeless honey in Israel, and I believe it's Haifa, and they're actually using the proteins from the stomachs of the honeybee and nectar to create beeless honey in Israel at this point in time. Now, honeybee, the reason for that would be veganism or something, I don't know why, actually, because honeybees are endemic to Europe and Africa and Asia. They belong there. They do not belong in the Western Hemisphere. So the reasons for Melibio to be making no bee honey in this hemisphere, in the Western Hemisphere, Yeah, it sounds like a noble thing, you know. I mean, the honeybees are bad for the environment. They're driving to or near extinction a lot of our native pollinators, all right? Native bees, not honeybees, native bees. So we're creating honey that is not made from bees for that reason. Okay. Then that brings us to the next question. How's it made? What's it made from? Do we have to do monoculture to make this? And so, Barry, do you have any answers to that? I have a lot of questions about this and not very many answers, of course. Do you know how they're making it? Is my main question.
Well, right now, I know that it is vegetable based. But they are working on other generations or other iterations of it. So what you tasted won't be the final Beeless Honey. The PhD who was working on it, she said this is the first step. So, but tell us about killer bees.
Yes.
And what you do.
Yes. Okay. Well, and
what happens with the killer bee? You go and you remove them, right?
Yeah. Well, we by removing you mean kill, then yes. The honeymoon is over with honeybees, and unfortunately, Africanized bees are in Madison. They almost killed a tree trimmer in Ohio last summer. They are in all the lower 48 states now. Now, they are the ultimate invasive species because they are a Frankenbee. They were created in a lab and in Brazil in 1957. And now, why the hell would they do that? And that, of course, makes me wonder about all sorts of things. Why the hell would they do that, right? Well, they created this super bee. Basically, it's better at everything. It's better at doing everything, literally. What they did not expect is what we're going to talk about in a little bit, and that's the aggression. So it was created by Dr. Warwick Kerr at the request of the Brazilian government. What the hell? Why? Because European honeybees are piss poor producers of honey in jungle conditions and very sickly. Whereas the African bee, actually it's an East African savanna bee, it's a purebred. Whereas European bees are not, well, they can be purebreds, but all the European bees that we know about in this country are mutts. They're total crossbreeds. So the African bee was known to be an excellent producer of honey and disease resistant. So they thought, well, duh, let's breed them together. So he went to Brazil and procured pure African queen bees. Well, only 63 made it back from Africa to Brazil. He crossbred them in an experiment with European bees, Africanized honeybees. Well, they got out. And that's a whole nother class. So we'll just leave that there. They got out, and they spread out in every direction at about 300 miles a year. Well, east and south, or west and south actually, from Brazil, not far to go. North, hell of a long ways. So they came into Texas in about 1991, Arizona about 1993, and I was already keeping bees here in Bisbee, Arizona at that time, young buck keeping bees right here by the tunnel in Bisbee, and these Africanized moved in, and all hell broke loose with all beekeepers in the state of Arizona. The Department of Agriculture got a hold of all of us and said, would you send us samples of all of the hives, all the swarms, whatever you're getting, and so we can test for percentage of Africanization, see what the hell's going on around here. In 1998, they called all of us up personally and said, don't send anymore. It's over. It's done. They're all Africanized. Well, then, of course, the big argument was they can't live where it's cold. Yeah, well, we're putting the bee back in BS. Yes, they can. They do. Remember, they do everything better than a European bee. Wherever European bees can survive, these guys can thrive. They adapt every year, which is very strange for beekeepers because right now, in the rest of the country, in all the lower 48 states and Alberta, yeah, they're in Alberta, beekeepers are having to deal with this, and there's a whole lot of denial out there. It's like, oh, they can't live where it's cold. It's just that my bees are pissy. They're not Africanized. And then they killed a beekeeper in Connecticut. We had a stinging incident in Manchester, New Hampshire. So why did they do this? Why did they bring them? Why did they crossbreed them? The European with the African to make the Africanized, and they do make twice as much honey or more. They swarm more often. They actually pollinate better, which is great for big agriculture. The thing that's really bad for everyone is their temperament. Abjectly meaner than shit. They are horrible creatures. Every week, just in this county, and we are in the Wild West down here. We're 20 miles south of Tombstone. We're about 9 miles north of the border, international border with Mexico. I've been servicing this county here for 30 years with the bee removal. And every week in this county, in the summer, they kill a dog, a horse, or a goat. Last August and September, just in this county, they sent 26 people to the hospital. There are attacks now in every state, lower 48. So they do everything better, including defend the hive. And that's our issue, of course. So, has anybody got any questions out there or anything, Barry?
Well, I have a question. You then are in the killer bee removal business.
That is correct. Yes, that is correct. What we do is we're on call. We actually rescue the fire departments from these things. We are on call and well known in the county primarily. We stay so busy in this rural county. In the summer, we'll get a normal 10 to 15 calls every single day for bee removal just in this county. That's how many there are. In a busy season, we'll get 60 to 80 calls per day. Now, these are usually instances where people will notice them coming and going from under a shed, or they'll see a ball of bees hanging in a tree, which used to be the most benign thing in the world, and who cared? Not anymore. A ball of bees hanging in a tree, it was what killed a good friend of mine here in Bisbee 2 years ago. All of these bees are vicious. All of the Africanized gene is horrible. It's a crossbreed, actually. It's the Africanized that's vicious. So what we do is when we get the call, we go out, and usually by the time we get there, whoever got attacked is in the hospital, or maybe they avoided attack, saw bees coming and going from a soffit or under a shed or whatever. Then we go in, assess the situation, and proceed to do what is needed to mitigate the threat. So there are 3 basic types of removals. There's either a ball of bees hanging in a tree, a swarm, size of a basketball, that'll have 7,000 to 10,000 bees in it. Then there's what I call a nuke seal, where say they're living in a block wall or a stucco wall, and we can't tear the house down. So then we use our pyrethrins, which are pesticides made from chrysanthemum flowers, and we kill the hive, seal up the hole, guarantee it for 2 years, and go to the next one. Then there are the fun removals, which you see on our YouTube and TikTok channels, and that's where we have to cut the floor out of the shed, etc. And we take the money and the honey. In a normal year, we get over 2 tons of honey that we get paid to remove. So I don't keep bees at all. People always ask us, even to this day.
Well, you keep the honey.
Oh boy, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. They make up to twice as much. Yeah, and that's what's for sale, available on our website, and I also have a store here in Bisbee and one in Tombstone, Arizona. I have honey stores there. They make up to twice as much honey. Now, there is no difference in the honey. The only difference, besides attitude, the only difference between different types of honeys is the type of flowers the bees are messing around with. That's the only difference. So, but again, they make up to twice as much, industrious as hell, and meaner than shit. They're just absolutely horrible. So we take the money and the honey.
So if there's no honey, you just take the money.
That's correct. Yeah, and a lot more of it.
But if there's a lot of money.
Yeah, well, and some jobs.
Questions that. Okay, Aaron.
In the videos I watched, you might be removing the bees. You're just removing the honey and the brood comb and kind of letting the bees do what they want.
Yeah.
Why doesn't the queen and they go and start a new comb?
This is an excellent question, and we get this.
Did you get the question?
Yeah, and we thank you, Barry, and we get this a lot. Okay, when we're in the middle of a war, and you've seen some of the videos, All right, and so I'm talking to both you guys in the class and also all of our people out in YouTube and TikTok land. We're live streaming this. So when we're on a removal, at any time during the day with a normal hive has 50,000 bees in it. Well, it's not unusual for us to see 100, 200, even 300,000 bees all the time now. Okay, we have, with a normal hive, you've got 2,000 to 5,000 bees out working in the field. They're just out working. They come back during and after the removal, along with all the bees, all the hell that gets let loose. Well, we, as you've probably seen in our videos, we use a non-toxic spray adhesive to knock down and mitigate the threat as much as possible. We just spray it in the air. It's Elmer's in a can. Don't try this at home, you guys. Do not do this. It knocks them down, seizes their wings, they're on the ground, who cares? After any removal is done, there are bees left over. It's like herding cats. You're not going to get them all. So the bees that are left over from any removal are called remnant bees because they're leftovers. They're the leftover from the removal. Remnant bees are like an amputated limb. All right? You can live without your finger, but your finger can't live without you. So on that same analogy, the queen is the heart and soul of the matter. Now, if your heart cannot, if it's left from your body, cannot start a new body. Same thing with the queen bee of a beehive. She needs 7,000 to 10,000 bees of her choosing, to make a new hive. So when we get done with a removal, a couple of things. Those remnant bees, the amputated limb, your finger can't crawl off by itself and start a new body. Same thing with these remnant bees. They cannot start a new hive. So that subject is taken care of. Then another subject, people always ask me, are my remnant bees going to go find a new place to live? Okay, this is so weird because bees, especially Africanized bees, are total Vikings. Every beehive is an enemy of every other beehive. The only reason that they visit each other is to steal honey. They even smell different to each other. So the bees that are left over, the remnant bees that are left over from a hive cannot go to another hive to live. It's just like my finger, if it gets chopped off, I can't put it in your pocket and it's going to grow on you. It's not going to happen. So the remnant bees are literally like an amputated limb and going to die off. So I hope that answers the question as to what happens with the remnant bees and the queen bee and all the bees that are left over after flying around. Excellent question, and we get it a lot. And after there comes a point in any war, no matter what war it is, where you either have a truce or one side's defeated. Well, there is no truce with this. And the side that gets defeated in these wars always has to be them. I always have to win. Because this is a job that I can fail at once. Because then I'm dead. So I hope that answers that question about the remnants and all that good stuff.
Reed, what can you tell us about the big commercial bee honey industry?
Yeah, big industry. Everyone has heard about the meme where if we don't have honeybees, we're going to die, right? Without honeybees, we're going to die. We're putting the bee back in BS again. All right. People lived in the Western Hemisphere for eons without honeybees. Now let's think about the name of honeybees, of our favorite little honeybees, our nice honeybees that we grew up with. They're called European honeybees, right? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. European honeybees. Say it again. European honeybees, not Midwestern honeybees. They ain't Wisconsin honeybees. They're not Southwestern honeybees. They're not Alabama honey. They're European. They're invasive. At the end of my YouTube vids on the last, 100 or something, at the end of it, during the credits, I have a map up that shows the invasion of European honeybees from east to west. Not Africanized from south to north, but European from east to west. So Europeans brought them into the west to the east coast in about 1620s, something like that. There were no honeybees in Arizona until 1872. So we do not, first of all, to that point, we do not need honeybees to live. yes, we would not have as many almonds or blueberries, but all of our grains are not pollinated by honeybees. Our rye, our wheat, our barley, none of them are pollinated by honeybees. So, but big agriculture, this is where honeybees it's big money is what it is. So most of our honey production in this country comes from the big boys. The guys that have 10,000, 15,000 hives, they take them across country, they take them to California for a few weeks to pollinate the almond fields, take them up to Maine for the blueberries. They take them all over the country, about 3,000 miles a year. They truck them all over the damn place for pollination. It used to be that the honey was the main thing that paid for everything. That was each rancher, each orchard owner, each farmer pays the bee guy to bring his hives out. He pays them rent. Well, back in the day, that rent was about $30, $35 per hive. And there may be 4 to 6 hives per acre for about 2 weeks, and then they take them somewhere else. Well, with the advent of colony collapse and also the varroa mite and various diseases, see this again, these are European, they're sickly. So the honeybee population declined in the late 90s and early 2000s so much that there were so few of them around, but the big boys breed them in-house, they make their own queens, that the price of pollination per hive, the rent, went up to $200. And it's still more than that now. So all of the money, the honey production, the honey pays for the gas in the big trucks. That's about it. But that is where most of our honey comes from. Now, of course, we have our small beekeepers. As far as Africanized bees go, that is where the real problem is. It's not with the big boys. The big boys know what they're doing when it comes to honey production, when it comes to keeping their hives from becoming Africanized. If they become Africanized and they're not too hot, let them do their work. If they get too hot, kill them and requeen or put in a new swarm. Honeybees are farm animals. That's all they are for the big boys. For the small beekeeper, it's total romance. Total romance. We love our honeybees, but the big mistake is that everybody thinks that we need them for our environment. You know, everybody thinks, I'll put a hive in my backyard to help the environment. No, you're actually hurting the environment. And so I hope that answers that question about the big producers.
Sure. Mm-hmm. Okay, any other questions? Okay, Traeger.
Do you have an opinion on the murder hornets?
Oh, do I ever? Oh, I love those guys. Could you go get that one? Oh, hell yeah. Oh, you know, okay, we have a murder hornet. Wait, I can hear it. Hold on. Can you hear that? They're really loud. No, anyway, we have one. I think it's, Hosh, I think it's on the fireplace down there on the end.
It's on the mantle.
And so we actually have one in formaldehyde, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, murder hornets, they're awesome. They're actually this big. They not only can sting you, of course, but they spit venom that can blind you. Awesome, huh? But they're this big, so I don't know if I'm going to use a Western or an English saddle on them. I'm just not sure yet. But if you guys look on here, okay, everybody, murder hornet time. Yummy. This is a murder hornet. Now, I don't know if you guys can see it or not. Where am I here? Okay, there we go. Oh, boy. Okay, well, I'm going to rotate this around while I'm talking about. That is an actual murder hornet. And you can see its abdomen is down here. I'm going to rotate it maybe so you can see the stinger and see the wings. You do not want to get stung by one of these. They can kill you, of course. So if you look on YouTube, my YouTube channel for Konnichiwa bees, about 3.5 years ago, I had a Japanese film crew call, and they came out from Japan, and they sent their beekeeper, their expert, who also fights these, because these are endemic to Japan. There you can see, oh, there's a good one of his ass. Look at that shit, will you? Anyway, he fights these in Japan, and he had his own special suit and all that to fight these guys. Well, and there are about 3,000 of them in a nest. I mean, they're nothing to mess with if you aren't prepared. So they came out, and the whole premise of the show was murder hornets versus killer bees. Now, of course, he didn't bring murder hornets with him. Darn. Anyway, well, they're in Washington State anyway, in Oregon, so they'll be here soon enough. And he had his own special suit and all that stuff, and their own crew and a translator, because I don't speak Japanese and they didn't speak English. I had those guys for a week. And the name of the show in Japan is Samurai Busters. And after one day with them, because I had a whole week lined up of hella bee jobs, all right, hella bee removals here in the county. After one day, he looked at his director and in Japanese said, it's his show. Because, yes, the murder hornets look scarier, and they're huge, and one sting can kill you, etc. But they don't care about humans. They don't care about us. They will decimate a beehive. They go in and they rip honeybees in half, and they take, from what I understand, they take the bodies back to their nests to feed the larvae. So they can decimate a beehive, and they are the enemy of beekeepers wherever they exist. Absolutely horrible. But for humans, if you walk past, to my understanding, you walk past a nest of murder hornets, they're not just going to come out and attack you from 100 yards away. Whereas Africanized bees will. All right. Also, from what I understand from Susumu, that was my new best friend's name from Japan, when murder hornets are irritated, they don't send everybody out. Whereas Africanized do. They send out all 100,000 to try to kill you. So we've got Westward here. I want to introduce everyone to Westward. Now Westward is working with me. I've known Westward for years, an old friend. And she is getting in the bee suit. In fact, she just got a brand new bee suit today. Yay. And she's gets in the bee suit. She does a lot of our filming and is doing a lot of the removals also on comb scraping, and you'll see her in some of the last few vids that we put up, right? Yeah. And so, anyway, that's Westward. And so we got Hosh, myself, and Westward, and that's the team right now here. So, who else has some questions for us?
Any other questions?
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think you've answered a lot of questions, and sounds like
okay, we're
not wild about the.
Well, we're gonna let Westward take a taste.
The honey,
We're gonna let Westward take a taste
okay.
and see what kind of a grimace or expression we can get from her.
It smells like flowers.
Yeah, smells like flowers. Yeah.
It tastes fruity. Jelly, a little like jelly.
Tastes fruity like jelly.
Fruity jelly.
Yeah, like fruity jelly.
Yeah. It kind of dissolves really fast too, not like honey. It has like a different
mouth
feeling.
feel.
Yeah, mouth feel.
Yeah.
It tastes nice. And to me, it doesn't taste like honey, but I've eaten your honey too. Like, it's not the same.
Yeah, and of course we're getting wild crafted honey.
Right.
It's
a lot stronger.
Yeah, we go out and get this from. It's the rarest honey in the world, actually. What we get, because it is from Africanized hives here in Cochise County. Wild crafted from that hive under that shed, and when it's gone, it's gone. So it is a different, we're kind of spoiled rotten, but at the same time, it's mesquite honey or wildflower mix. And
it's not as sticky either.
Not as sticky.
No.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So for a first iteration of no bee honey, not bad, not good. I don't know. It's I'm interested as to. I have a lot of questions about it. I have a lot of questions, Barry. Tons of questions about it.
Okay, email me your questions and I'll see if I can get them answered.
You got it. I will. Absolutely. Thank you.
Okay, all right. And we're going to be looking for some honey next week that I will give to all the students here.
On its way. On its way, bud.
All right. Okay. Thank you, Reed. And
Thank you, everyone.
We'll talk to you soon.
All right. Check out the YouTube channel, Killer Bee Guy.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Okay. All right. Let's see.
How do we get out of here? Bye. Say goodbye, everyone. Say goodbye, Hosh.
Find out how to log off.
Bye, everybody.
Yeah, we're logged off. Okay. Well, okay, guys. Bill, that was fun. I don't have to stare at that. I can stare at you guys. So, anyway. So, we got Westford and I here. Oh, I tell you, this being a professor shit. Woo. Well, I'm exhausted. I don't know. What do you think?
It did good.
Head right to the bar. No, anyway.
That was nice.
Right to the bar. Tough day.
With the rest of the professors.
Teaching class.
Yeah, that was
Get my
cool.
drank on.
Anyway, I don't know. That was interesting, you guys. I thought, honestly, that, of course, everybody's always interested in killer bees. It's like, whatever. So what about killer bees?
Yeah.
Right, right.
And that's fine. That's fine. I understand completely. Once again, no bee honey. Okay. We know why. They're trying to save the environment and all that good shit. But what does it take to make this? Right?
Yeah, we didn't get to know that yet, huh?
Well, I don't know if he knows.
Yeah.
I really don't. I mean, it's plant-based. Okay, great. So is Karo syrup,
Yeah.
right? Now, I told him we won't be judgmental. Critical, yes. We'll be critical as hell. Judgmental, no, I don't care. I give a shit what they do, It's awesome,
Yeah.
But we know the whys, but is it worth it? What's the carbon footprint to make this?
That's a great point.
I mean, we know for honeybees, if especially the way that we're doing it, it's probably one of the lowest carbon footprints you can imagine.
Yeah.
The way that we do it, going and wild harvesting honey from deadly bees. We're awesome.
And then killing the bees.
And then killing the bees. We're just amazing.
Yeah.
Can I expound on that a little bit? Anyway.
I got a question out here.
Yeah.
Are you saying backyard beekeeping will cease to exist at some point?
It has in Arizona, except for new people. Any old timers here will not touch honeybees anymore. At all. No way. In fact, we cannot relocate honeybees here. No one will let us. If we were to take a swarm of honeybees from a tree, and I used to. Oh, I was the biggest bee hugger in the world. I used to, but now if I was to take a ball of bees out to a ranch and let it go out on somebody's ranch out here, which there's endless, we're talking miles and miles of ranch owned by one person and then another ranch next to it. I might get shot at.
Yeah. And what about on BLM?
They said absolutely not. Yeah. State land, absolutely not. You do not drop any bees off. They will prosecute if possible.
So there's no place to put them.
In the grave.
Yeah.
We send them to hell. So backyard beekeeping, where they belong. So backyard beekeeping. Okay, first of all, it's adorable. There's a lot of romance about it. I was there. It was like, oh my goodness. I didn't see any downside to backyard beekeeping. I was supportive. Hell yeah. Until I found out the truth, of course. Honeybees are invasive to the Western Hemisphere. They don't belong here. They're actually driving to or near extinction a lot of our native pollinators, like bumblebees. Right? So, backyard beekeeping. I think it's going to be going away for the two reasons. A, if you got Africanized bees, and you can't tell. This happened just last summer here. Hosh and I went on a job. You can see it on YouTube. It was World War B, and on TikTok it's
pinned vids on TikTok.
Pinned on TikTok. Yeah, bees gone bad. A beekeeper right here in town, still romantic as hell about it. One hive. It only takes one, and right downtown, middle of town, and she did not know that her hive had gone Africanized. You know why? Why? We'd think after 3 generations of her family keeping bees that she would have been able to know.
Yeah.
Can't tell by looking.
It's interesting. I was telling Hosh about a story I read yesterday. A woman who kept bees in her backyard noticed her hive was acting really strange.
Oh, yeah.
So she said, I'm going to go check on my bees. She didn't have a bee suit on. And she was found later on unconscious in her yard.
She did not have bee suit on.
She got stung all up in her face and all over her throat.
But she had the bee suit on too.
No, she didn't.
Oh, not at all.
She noticed her bees were acting funny, but she didn't have full gear on.
Got it.
So she was found unconscious. Come to find out, she had ordered bees from somewhere in California, and they were Africanized.
Packaged bees.
Packaged bees to her bee box in her backyard.
Oh my God.
So they ended up, her and her partner ended up exterminating the hive themselves after she healed from that because they didn't know what to do.
Well,
you
right.
have to.
Yeah.
Right.
But they didn't know who to even call. They're beekeepers.
Now, this is a game changer.
So this is very interesting to me.
Because you used to be able to purchase, and you still can, obviously, a 3-pound swarm of honeybees Guaranteed European.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They almost killed this woman.
Yeah.
Son of a bitch.
So
Do you know
sad.
what state that was in?
I don't, and I'd like to find that article again because I always
It's
do
getting so it doesn't
research.
make any difference
Yeah.
what state it was in. They're everywhere. Wow.
It's the first time I've heard
Yeah.
a story from a beekeeper that said sometimes you have to kill bees. And that was amazing.
Wow.
They almost killed her.
So
Wow.
that whole box of bees online, don't buy bees.
Yeah.
And
So
just
scary.
and if your bees are coming in from California, California is the worst in terms of denial about Africanization.
Oh, yeah.
As a
absolutely.
general rule, they're just
Yeah.
idiots about it.
Yeah.
They're just and so
Honestly, small beekeepers everywhere. It's just,
Yeah.
you know, hobbyists are still, it's so hard. And my heart was broken about it too. And then I realized that, you know, like Frank Zappa said, broken hearts for assholes. So, it's like, you know, it's like, the truth is the truth. Don't get so fucking worked up about it. You know, it's like, honeybees are bad for the goddamn environment. They're bad for everything. Yeah, they make honey.
They're
so,
good for honey.
So what?
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
buy honey. No, they're buy honey from us, as a matter
Yeah.
of fact.
Yeah,
So I've never heard that before. That's horrifying, is what it is. Because
It
you used
is,
to be
it's
able to buy
scary.
guaranteed European swarm, and you were safe then until an Africanized hive took over. Remember, we've talked about that a lot.
Well, she was saying, she's
It's
like,
a
oh, they're
crapshoot.
acting really strange. I should go check on them again. And thank God she did.
yeah. Well,
In
maybe.
a way,
I mean, it's a crapshoot.
yeah.
At this point,
Russian
it's a
roulette.
crapshoot. It's Russian
Russian
roulette.
roulette.
Like that person in Bisbee we were talking about.
Yep. So she had third generation, and she went down just 2 weeks before with a bee suit on, and her bees were fine, nice and calm, and all that shit. But then she went out, and I think the hive was tilting a little bit or something. She wanted to straighten it up. No, the 2 weeks before, she did not have her bee suit on. Remember that?
Oh.
She went down, and her bees were gentle and
Yes.
climbing around, and everything was fine.
Yes, they were as nice as could be.
They were nice as could be, to quote.
They were
how-
being nice.
Quote Hosh.
Yeah.
We got Hosh on camera now because he's back there. So anyway.
Thank you. Do you want to get back on the seat?
Right. Whatever works.
Whatever works. So anyway, she went out, and you know, how could she not tell? Boy, people are like, oh my God, how did she not know? That's the problem. You can't tell. You don't know by looking. They look exactly the same. You just don't know.
Yeah.
Now, horrifying. I'm really in shock about this, Wes.
Yeah.
I really am. That you can buy a 3-pound package of bees, guaranteed European, and they get there and they're deadly.
And they're African.
Holy shit.
Yeah. I wonder if did they sue?
I didn't go that far. I read that article, and that was
Yeah.
it.
Was her name Sue?
No.
Oh.
I will look for it for you guys.
Was her boy named Sue? Anyway.
So what's your estimation on how long it'll take for the whole U.S. to be fully Africanized?
Well, I've been saying 10 years for about 10 years. And actually, no, about 10 years ago, I was saying 15 years. I'm down, I would say a max of 10 years, mainly because of how good they are at what they do. It happened here in southern Arizona in about 6 years. They simply took over, and there's a couple of ways that they do that. Now, what happened with this gal's hive here last year? All right, beekeepers are a goofy bunch, and we love our honeybees and all that shit. We used to, not anymore. So there are 2 ways primarily that your hive can become Africanized, and that is either through crossbreeding, which everyone's heard me talk about a lot, the swarming action, where your virgin queen bee goes out on a mating flight and comes back after mating with Africanized drones, starts laying Africanized eggs. But a more immediate way that this happens is World War bee. And these Africanized bees are straight up total Vikings. All right. So you've got and say in a mile radius, you've got a shitload of beehives. They're everywhere. But you have a really strong Africanized hive. Now, not every Chihuahua is an ankle biter, or are they?
I think they all are.
Okay, okay, I'm going to change my analogy on that.
Sorry.
Yeah, I think they all are. Yeah, well, what I always say, nothing ever has the same temperament as anything else. Same thing with Africanized hives. Some are meaner than others. So you've got a really strong, mean Africanized hive that will come into either your nice European hive, which is what happened down here in the Gulf last year, or a weaker Africanized hive, say under a shed or something. And they will come in and kill all the bees. World War bee. I've seen it with my own eyes, the weirdest damn thing. Kill all the bees, sting the pupae to death, all right, through the caps on the cells, sting the babies to death.
It's barbaric.
total Vikings, total barbaric,
Wow.
and either steal all the honey and go home or move in. Well, that's where the problem is.
Yeah,
There goes
So they
They're
moved
mean
in.
girls.
the mean girls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bitches.
There goes the trailer park.
Groups of bitches.
The trailer. Yeah,
Does-
they are. But biatches. Yeah. We have a
Does the
question.
cold at least slow them down?
Well, it slows me down. I know that much. I don't like it. I'm done with this fucking
The
winter.
honeybees, the
Oh.
feral unmanaged hives.
Okay, they're still insects, but we were getting swarms when Hosh was gone for the holidays.
Yeah, this
In
December.
fact, we were getting swarms when Hosh was here.
Yeah.
We've been getting swarms and calls, 3 to 5 calls per week all winter long. Now you say winter, you're down in the desert. It's been down in the mid-20s every night or lower. That would be warm. And we've had snow as of last week here. I had like a total of 7 inches up here. So we have winters. We have real winters. But they were swarming all around. So they adapt. It slows them down. Yes, it does slow them down. Doesn't stop them. Does not stop them. Does not stop them swarming. That's a new one too, because they just keep kicking swarms out. It's like a dandelion, where you give it a poof and all those float off, and only one out of the 10,000 or million or whatever actually turns into a dandelion. Same thing that's happening with these guys. They just keep spitting out swarms in hopes that maybe one will take somewhere. So cold weather. We've also had instances of attacks at 25 degrees Fahrenheit. Yeah, that's cold. Where someone will just walk by a hive and be attacked.
Yeah.
So it's actually horrifying what's going on. Really, I keep going back to that, packaged bees.
Yeah.
That you can't buy packaged bees and be guaranteed that they're European. You could get killed
Yeah.
buying packaged bees. I'm just shocked. This is new to me.
Well, how do they guarantee them if you can't tell by looking anyways?
Well,
How do they guarantee that each bee is
Yeah.
The
a
person-
European,
yeah, the-
not
Genetic
Africanized?
testing is actually
genetic
expensive.
testing is the only way.
And it's
So they-
expensive.
They should be doing that then.
They should be. They
Can't
could,
afford
but
to.
they can't afford to. It's
No.
too expensive.
I
No.
see.
See, and this is why all of the information that you will see on you Google Africanized bees, and you're going to see a map where they stop right in the middle of the United States.
Yeah.
That's because all those maps are 15 years old. The states, the universities, the county extensions, all of them stopped testing. No one's paying for it. Well, I'm not going to pay $1,000 per or more to have bees tested. No one is. No one can afford that. And so there is no testing going on.
I see.
And so, as far as scientifically, yeah, Hosh has a good one.
Somebody said, I thought bees couldn't really operate in temps below 45 degrees.
Oh, boy, they used to be, you are absolutely correct. European bees.
Yeah.
Absolutely correct. Used to be. In fact, about 15 years ago when it really started changing. Now, I've been doing it for 30 years down here, and I have to admit, what I've been doing for 30 years down here, it's kind of strange for me now, is all of a sudden pertinent everywhere else.
Yeah.
It's interesting on the forefront. But I'm glad to be here. I'm here for you. So anyway, I want to tell everybody about these and warn them because they are coming to a neighborhood near you. European bees, anything below about 45, 50 degrees, and they'd be in having coffee, they didn't want nothing to do with it. That used to be the case when the Africanized came into Arizona. I did notice, wow, these things are working at about 35 degrees. What in the hell's going on? And then it went down to 30 degrees. Now, anything above freezing, and they're out foraging. Also, Africanized bees, and I used to watch them right here at the ranch, they will forage on a full moon,
Right.
middle of the damn night.
Oh wow.
Amazing.
Science fiction.
I've
Amazing.
never seen bees at night.
Just like dealing with sci-fi.
Full moon, they're out.
Yep, full moon, they're out. Just like sci-fi.
It's a full moon right now.
That's
Sweet.
why I feel so weird.
Well, we did bees in the snow the other day.
Yeah, that's
We
right.
did bees in
We
the
actually
snow.
did be. It's up, isn't it? Is the vid up?
Oh yeah, it was a live stream. We called it Camino de Cristo bees. Or
Oh yeah,
something
Camino
like
de
that.
Cristo.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a live stream. Go look for that on YouTube.
it was really amazing. We were doing bees.
Yeah.
Horrifying stuff. We actually have a premiere coming up on YouTube on Friday, don't we?
We do.
Which one is it? Do you remember?
It's called Rock Outcrop.
Oh,
It
Rock
was very
Outcrop.
suspenseful. It's a really
Oh
good
my
one.
God, you guys! It's an older removal that I did a number of years ago that we just had to put up. You guys aren't going to believe this shit. It was way too far out, way too dangerous, horrifying, an attack. It was horrible. You'll see it. It's a premiere, 3 o'clock Mountain Standard Time. We will be on live chat.
Correct. Yep. And I always get on there about 10 minutes early to say hi to everyone. So
Yeah.
I'll be there either way.
And then Hosh and I will be on also. We actually have bee removals tomorrow to do tomorrow afternoon. So we're going to be live streaming those if we can. We live out in the Wild West, and so if we can live stream, we do. You guys already know this, and so if nothing else, we'll make a vid out of it tomorrow afternoon, about 1 o'clock our time here, Mountain Standard. We're going to be. We got one job, and then we're going to go look at another one, and so it's ramping up now. You guys are going to get sick of us. We're going to be doing bees. Oh my God, we're going to have so many beehives because we had a wet winter. Really wet winter, and we're going to have wildflowers everywhere, and wildflowers means a good nectar flow, and good nectar flow means bees.
And we had a lot of brood. That also means a lot of bees too,
All
right?
winter.
All winter brood.
All winter. So brood,
Yeah.
what do we got?
Yeah, this guy, Johnny, you got a lot of really good questions. So thank you
so much, you guys.
Yeah.
Hosh will interrupt me. Ask away.
Would you say seeing active hives below 40, 45 degrees could be a good indication of Africanization?
Boy, oh boy. In the past I would have said no. Not anymore. I would say be careful. I really would. Be careful. I don't know if you go onto any of the social media platforms, onto bee groups, swarm groups, beekeeping associations, et cetera, et cetera. We're seeing an incredible number of people asking everyone else, why are my bees so aggressive?
Yeah.
Out of the blue. Like 1 minute they're fine, and then they go down the next day even. And they can't mow the lawn next to their hives anymore. They get chased off. And no one thinks about Africanization in the rest of the damn country. It's either denial or ignorance or both. And you guys have to be aware of this because Africanization is real. It is here. It's here to stay. And back to that person wondering how long it'll be before all of the definitely unmanaged feral hives in the country are Africanized. I'd say around 10 years. They're so much better at everything they do, including breeding, propagating the area with bees. They are 100 times better at it than European bees.
Yeah.
That's why there's so damn many of them down here. I mean, look at that bee hunting video that we put up.
Yeah.
Where we just stopped at this one abandoned house that we didn't know about it. We didn't stop before. We didn't know it was there from Adam. We just went, oh, this will be fun, and pulled over, got the cameras going, walked out, and 2 hives in one abandoned house. So they're
And
really.
that was winter too, by the way.
And that was winter.
Yeah, it was really cold out.
That was right. It was cold.
And of course, this is one of the things that, the whole business of Africanized bees now being in England, being in Europe.
Wow. Yeah, I don't know
And
if
they're
you
not
guys
gonna
saw
stay
that.
in England.
Now
I mean,
we have a vid up, didn't we?
I didn't post it on community page yet, just the
Okay.
Ghana one.
Okay, the
My
Ghana.
bad.
Well, okay, then
I need
we
to
have
post
one.
that.
Okay, we have one that Wesper's going to post on our community page on YouTube, and it is this company called
Pest intercept.
Pest Interceptors in England. Yeah, in the English countryside, and they come upon a hive in a soffit, which you've seen us do 1,000 of them, and they were Africanized.
These guys got stung up so bad.
Took them 2 days to do the damn thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
it
looked
was
like-
hard to watch.
It looked like worst bees ever. It looked like
It was hard to watch.
any of our hairy jobs.
Actually, a harder one to watch was this guy in Ghana. This English guy, I think it was maybe. Anyway,
Yeah,
he
he
was
does a motorcycle trip.
doing a
Not sure where he's
motorcycle
from.
trip all over Africa and whatnot, cooler than hell. And he went to stay. He was recording everything and live stream. It was awesome, a really cool video blog thing. And he set up his little tripod with his camera on it, and his motorcycle's over here, and the ocean, and the palm trees, and all of a sudden he's going. You can hear his screams.
Yeah.
And then he's running back and forth and running back and forth. And then he disappears for a while, and you can hear his screams. Then he's running back and forth again. Oh, it was hard to watch.
Yeah, he sat down to rest, and I don't know if the bees were in the grass, but in the video you can see they're just all over the place, and he
Yeah.
didn't know they were there.
He didn't know that they. Of course, he didn't know that they were there.
They chased
Now,
him.
this brings me to the point of African bees are not as aggressive as Africanized bees. Now, this was unknown to me until about 30 years ago. I was doing a show in Tucson, Arizona here at the 4th Ave Street Fair, and a lot of you guys probably actually been to it, Tucson and that 4th Ave Street Fair. It's an arts crafts fair. I used to take my honey and sell it up there all the time. And this guy comes to my booth and he says, "What's all this hype about your Africanized bees, you killing horses and attacking people and shit?" And I said, "Well, it ain't hype. What the hell are you talking about?" He said, "I'm a South African beekeeper. I have 400 hives of African bees, not Africanized, African bees in my horse pasture." And I was like, what are you trying to kill your horses? And so after that, so we commiserated, of course. And then after that, I did some research. Well, the African bee is about as pissy as some of the European strains.
Wow.
There are European strains that are definitely pissy. They're quite mean. Nothing like what we have with the Africanized, the crossbreed. The European and African. So for Africanized bees to be in Africa, horrible. Absolutely horrible.
Yeah, and
Or
that was a
England.
couple months ago that was filmed.
So that one was a
That's
couple of months
recent.
ago. The English one was what, a year?
A year.
Year ago.
And they're going to take over wherever they go.
Yeah, and like Host said one time, because someone asked him, we were doing a live stream, and someone from England asked, "Are they in England yet?" And Host simply said, "They're a container ship away,"
That's a great point.
because they hitchhike.
Yeah.
They hitchhike on airplanes and cargo holds, on ships, trucks, planes, trains, automobiles. They hitchhike. That's why one of the major reasons they couldn't stop them at the Isthmus of Panama when they came up. So it is horrific because it's really, yeah, we got a good one here.
Just somebody asking how many years of experience do you have in the bee industry?
Well, I'm 35 now, with most of that Africanized.
Yeah.
Because I was keeping bees in '88. I had started up here right at this ranch, actually, when Dad was alive and all that. And so I had European bees, and I had 30, 40 hives down here one time, and would go get swarms and whatnot. And of course, back in those days, we would not charge. Oh, hell, we'd, leave the guy some honey to get a swarm. And in '93, the Africanized technically moved in. I think it was a little before that, and changed everything. I mean, they got so damn mean. It was shocking. It was shocking. Most of the beekeepers, old ranchers, everybody had a couple of hives. Everybody out here. And everybody stopped because they couldn't get near their hives. And so about, 35 years total, something like that. Yeah.
What was the video of the English beekeepers? They were pest interceptors.
Pest
Correct.
interceptor. I think that was
forget the
really.
name of the- we have it
No, you
posted
know what it
on the
was?
community
Africanized bees in England? Question
In
mark.
the UK.
Wasn't that it? Wasn't that the name of it? They titled
Something
it?
like that.
Africanized
I
bees.
will post it, I promise. I will post this video on community.
Do it
tab.
now. Do it
I will
anyway.
do it when we're done with this live stream before I go on. I promise. Thanks for your patience. We've been saying this for like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Yeah. Well, you know what I always say? Be patient or become one.
Yeah, I forgot.
So anyway, no. So it'll be on our community page because we do not put, or I don't think we can put a video from someone else's on our. It'll be on the community page. Go
Yeah,
ahead and
we'll
look
share
at
it on
It'll be worth.
community.
It's worth it. The African one is up there already.
Yes, and what I've been trying to do too once in a while is let our viewers know on community sometimes when we're going to go do a live or we're going to go do something.
Oh, awesome!
So I did that the other day. I'm
If
going
we
to
have a
try to keep
schedule
up
on
with
it.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
if we
when we
have a-
know.
If we have something pre-scheduled, a lot of times we're on call.
Exactly. So when we know, I'm going to try to pop on a little more often and just let people know what's up with
Well,
us.
that's awesome. That'd be really
We're
good.
going to be so busy, you guys. We're already starting to be super busy right now. I'm trying to stay on top of all this.
Meaner and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Meaner and shit.
Now, what made you take up this passion?
I used to drink heavy. No, actually. Well, actually, in truth, I'm a home brewer, and I make mead, or honey wine, which is what the Vikings drank. And I've been doing it I have bottles of mead that are 35 years old that I made. I have hundreds of bottles in stash, out of sight, out of mind. And so I call it my terminal stash. Because when the doctors tell me it's terminal, I'm calling all you guys up and we're going to drink it all.
Oh my God.
So I started, so I was a mead maker, and
There's going to be a big bonfire.
yeah, and I'm going to be on top of it.
It's like
Yeah.
so sad, but I
Your
like, look
funeral
forward
pyre.
to it.
This
Your pyre.
will be post KBG.
Oh.
Oh,
Oh,
that's really sad.
Well,
I don't like that.
we'll have a
I
reed
don't want to do
BQ.
it. I don't want there to.
You'll be here
We'll,
forever.
we'll have a reed BQ. Okay, we're putting the bee back in bonfire. Anyway. So anyway, mead maker, thought it'd be romantic to have my own bees, get my own honey, make my own mead, never leave the house. And then in the early 90s, the Africanized moved in, changed the whole fucking thing. I still make mead, but now we use the wild honey and whatnot. And so it changed the entire shift. Most people just gave up, said, fuck this, I ain't doing nothing with bees, I don't want anything to do with it. And I basically saw an opportunity.
Yeah.
And then I used to get calls in the early 90s from old ranchers in the mid 90s that say, those bees have been in that bunkhouse for 60 years, and all of a sudden they're in that wall, and all of a sudden they're stinging the horses and cows and me. What the hell? And I'd explain it to them. They're Africanized, well, whatever the hell they are, come on out and get them. And so I would take off a wall, like 10-foot wall by 8 foot high, full of comb, 500 pounds of honeycomb in there, and I would go, duh. And so now we take the money on the honey.
Yeah.
And you go to killerbeeguy.com, of course, and get some.
How can you tell the difference in the honeybees? I have a bunch polluting on my job site.
Polluting?
Yeah, they're polluting his job site.
Yeah, that's what they do, actually.
They're looting and polluting.
Looting and polluting. Polluting with venom if they sting you, right? You can't. You can't tell. I mean, that's the problem.
Can't tell by
Now,
looking.
by polluting on your job site, does that mean that they're farting around with your soda cans or in your trash cans? Or, clarify a little bit for me, please, because you can't tell by looking. Africanized and European look the same. All right, they're mutts. They're total mutts. So you can't tell by looking. And if they're coming from somewhere to your site, like to your garbage cans or to your fruit trees or to your area, then they're foraging.
Oh, pollinating.
Oh, pollinating, not polluting.
Site. Yeah, yeah.
I like polluting.
Oh,
Yeah.
I like that term as well.
Yeah, I like polluting. Yeah.
I'm gonna call
Oh.
that.
If I get stung, I say I've been
Yeah.
polluted. I've done been. God damn it, I've been polluted.
These bees are just polluting the whole land.
Yeah, yes,
They
exactly.
really are.
They,
So, well, they're pollinating.
biopollution.
Exactly. But you can't tell. Okay, if they're foraging and they're pollinating, they will come from up to a 3-mile radius. Now, everybody loves a corner bar. That does not mean that they are coming from 3 miles away. They could be coming from an old tire laid out in the woods or out in the desert. They could be coming from that house over there that has that shed and nobody has ever been back there. Or they could have just moved into your neighbor's soffit. So they like to stay close. They love a corner bar, but you can't tell by looking. Now, your foraging bees, your pollinating bees, they better not be aggressive. I've been saying this for years. If foraging bees become aggressive, we're screwed.
Yeah.
You can't go outside. You can't walk by your fruit tree. But then, of course, at that point, we're going to go into the fashion bee suit industry, which,
right.
is your bee suit here?
I put it in the truck.
No, I put it in the
I was
truck.
all excited. It's up in.
Westbrook got a
everyone
brand
else's.
new shiny white bee suit that she'll be having on tomorrow.
That's right, and it will be shiny white for 2 minutes, maybe.
Yeah, at the most.
We'll
So
see.
be sure to watch for us. You're going to need sunglasses, though. That thing, I'm used to our dirty old suits.
Oh, yeah.
She put that thing on today. I was like, holy shit. Oh, my God.
It's easy to locate mine in the truck. Like right when you open the door, it's like, oh, there's Westwards. It's bright white. Yours is just
It
like
did that.
all dingy and
It'd
shit.
be like the angel
Yeah.
getting out of the truck. The glow.
Exactly.
It's shocking how white they are when we haven't touched them.
I'm just glad it fits.
Yeah, you're right. She got a small
really
one, so
nice.
it fits her, because otherwise she was swimming in them. Hi, where are the bees?
I'm a compact woman. I needed a smaller suit.
Like
yes.
a pack woman.
Compact woman.
Yes.
Oh, God.
That's-
Making a pact with the devil is what she's doing.
Your bee suit is going to get polluted, somebody said.
Oh shit,
Yeah.
that's so real.
From the inside out.
Oh no.
From the inside. Bodily functions are us.
No.
Now, Paul's saying that he said there's a website that he saw showing Africanized bees have a darker ass end.
No, there's certain European ones. There are some European bees that almost have no stripes. They're so
Yeah.
dark.
I
you
read
know.
too that they weren't as hairy or furry.
Well,
but I
okay.
don't know. Is
Depends
that real?
on the-
That's not
It
even it.
depends.
No, when a bee, okay,
Yeah.
there's also within one hive, you'll have different colors of bees. Here's the primary reason. When bees are first born, they're very hairy, literally, and really their bands are very distinct depending on the breed. and their markings are much more distinct and much more colorful. When they go out to forage, they literally get bleached by the sun, all their fur gets rubbed off, and their wings get
Wow.
frayed.
Wow.
So people, you can't tell by looking. That's what it boils down to. There are, within the European bee clan, shall we say, trailer park, there are Europeans, Italians. It's a very non-segregated thing. There are Italians, Carnolians, Russians, there's many different types of European honeybees. This South African honeybee is a honeybee. It's not a mutt. So here in the Americas, in the Western Hemisphere, all of our feral European honeybees, we can't call them Italians. We can't call them European. We can call them European. We can't call them Russian because they've all been crossbred for so long. And so the crossbreed between the African and the European and Africanized, true mutts, true feral, true junkyard dogs. Straight up, okay?
Yeah.
Now, on top of that, from what Westford was saying about this woman who bought a 3-pound swarm, it got to her and they were Africanized.
Yeah.
Horrifying. You can't tell by looking. Can't tell by looking.
Yeah.
I had a joke in the business years ago. People would always ask, how can you tell the difference between a European hive and an Africanized hive? And I'd just say, kick it.
Oh, God.
But people started doing that. I said, don't do that anymore. I don't
I'd
tell
walk
them.
by it.
Yeah, just
We
nowadays.
walked by it and we got chased around the house when we went bee hunting. We didn't even
Yeah.
go that close to it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we
We
got
were
chased.
pissed immediately.
And then sometimes, they have a good day. In other
Well,
words,
yeah.
you have a day where they're not aggressive, but then
Right.
2 days from now they're gonna
Or 2 minutes.
Yeah.
kill your kids.
See, this is a problem with the Africanization as opposed to the European honeybee. European honeybee, we knew what they were going to do in 2 minutes. We knew what they were going to do in 2 weeks. We knew what they were going to do in 2 decades. We knew what they were going to do in 200 years. We knew what they were going to do. Not Africanized. That's part of the problem. We have no idea what the hell they're going to do next. And it's usually aggression, of course. So we just do not know what they're going to do from one moment to another. You can't trust them. That's the problem. You can't trust them. Are you heading out?
I need to head out in a minute.
All right.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Well, everybody say goodbye to Westward. Westward's going to head out. She'll be back with
Bye.
us tomorrow.
Good to see you guys.
And so she'll be with us in the bee suit tomorrow afternoon. We're going to be going chasing bees around. Do we have any other questions? Shoot me a text in the morning when you're headed up to the ranch and we'll go have some fun.
You got it.
All right, right on.
I'll take care of it.
Anybody got any questions for us out there before we sign off? It was a pleasure, you guys. Thank you so much for coming along with us. Kind of an interesting one today. Live stream with the University of Wisconsin-Madison. I'd like to thank Barry Levinson for having us along and for discussing the no bee honey from Meli Bio company, right, Tosh?
Yeah.
Meli Bio. Go ahead and look it up. Very curious about what they're doing. Very curious about what they're doing. And people are making honey that's not from bees, I guess? Anyway. All right, love you guys. Thanks for coming. Go to killerbeeguy.com. Please get some honey. We got a special 20% off. Type in KBG1, the number 1 in the coupon section, and then you get some honey. We love you guys. Thanks for coming. Say goodbye, Hosh. See you guys. See you tomorrow.